The average pickup truck in America costs $58,000, and the average buyer keeps it about 6 years before trading in. That's nearly $10,000 a year just to have a truck in the driveway. But here's what nobody at the dealership will tell you. Some of these trucks will still be running at 300,000 miles on the original engine, while others won't make it to 150,000 without a catastrophic repair. And the difference has almost nothing to do with maintenance. It comes down to which truck you bought in the first place. I spent 3 weeks pulling data from Consumer Reports, J.D. Power, iSeeCars, RepairPal, and about a dozen mechanic forums to find which trucks actually live up to the buy once, drive forever promise. Not the trucks with the best marketing, the trucks that real mechanics recommend to their own families. These are 7 of them, ranked from good to nearly indestructible. And if you stick around past number 4, I'll show you one truck with a 30% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. That's 6 times higher than the industry average. Let's get into it. Number 7. The Ram 1500 with the 5.7-liter Hemi. Starting controversial, RepairPal ranks the Ram first out of 17 full-size trucks for annual repair cost at $691, and that ZF 8-speed automatic is widely considered one of the best truck transmissions ever made. But iSeeCars says the Ram has only a 3.5% chance of reaching 250,000 miles, worst of any light-duty truck. The 10-year maintenance projection from CarEdge tops $17,000 with a 54% chance of a major repair. The culprit is the Hemi tick. Exhaust manifold bolts snap from heat cycling, costing $1,600 per side. Lifter failures run $3,500 to $5,000. If you're on a Ram forum right now, every third thread is someone asking whether the ticking at cold start is normal. Spoiler. It's not great. I personally think the 2020 to 2024 5th-gen Hemi with e-torque can reach 200,000 plus miles if you commit to 5,000-mile synthetic oil changes and avoid prolonged idling. That's not a casual commitment. That's a relationship. Stay far away from the 2025 Hurricane redesign, which Consumer Reports rated much less reliable right out of the gate. Also avoid the 2014 with its 16 recalls, and the 2010 to 2013 models with the TIPM electrical module that randomly shut trucks off while driving, which is, bad. But the engine choice that surprised me the most is coming at number 5. It's from a brand you probably didn't expect here. Number 6. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The Silverado swept J.D. Power's 2025 Vehicle Dependability Study for both light-duty and heavy-duty pickups. RepairPal puts annual costs at $714, well below the $936 full-size average. And pre-2007 versions of the 5.3-liter V8 without active fuel management are famous for 300,000 trouble-free miles. I've seen guys on the GM forums post odometer photos past 350,000 with zero engine work beyond oil changes. It's kind of beautiful. But active fuel management is the single biggest reliability risk in modern GM trucks. Collapsible lifters fail unpredictably, causing misfires and camshaft damage. Repair runs $3,000 to $6,000. A class action was filed in 2021, and GM recalled over 600,000 trucks with the 6.2 V8 for connecting rod-bearing failures. 3 ways to buy a Silverado that lasts. The 3.0-liter Duramax diesel completely avoids AFM and gets 23 miles per gallon in Consumer Reports testing. Any pre-2007 non-AFM 5.3 is a proven 300,000-mile engine. Or buy the current 5.3 and proactively delete the AFM system. One guy on a GM forum documented 440,000 miles on his 2011 Silverado after replacing lifters and COM at 355,000 and disabling AFM. Avoid 2014 through 2016 for the worst lifter rates and the Chevy shake vibration that GM never fully resolved. If that lifter mess frustrates you, the next truck has a simple fix. Pick the right engine, and it's a completely different ownership experience. Number 5. The Ford F-150, but only with the right engine. The F-150 earned Consumer Reports' 2026 top pick for full-size trucks, but iSeeCars shows just a 5.9% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. The contradiction makes sense when you realize the F-150 is really 5 different trucks wearing the same sheet metal. The 5.0-liter Coyote VAR 8 is the domestic longevity champion. Naturally aspirated, forged internals, Ward's 10 Best Engines winner. Regularly hits 250,000 to 300,000 miles. On the Ford forums, Coyote owners are insufferably smug about it. Honestly, they've earned it. The second-gen 3.5-liter EcoBoost from 2017 onward solved the earlier carbon buildup problem and has many examples past 200,000. What you absolutely cannot buy is the 5.4-liter Triton V8 from 2004 to 2008. The spark plugs break apart inside the cylinder heads during removal. A tune-up becomes a $2,000 nightmare. Also avoid the PowerBoost Hybrid, which scored 7 out of 100 on Consumer Reports. 7 out of 100. Oh, that's not a truck. That's a cautionary tale. Sweet spot is a 2018 to 2020 with the Coyote and the 6-speed automatic. Now, the next truck is where this list gets genuinely surprising. It's the only pickup Consumer Reports recommends. And it's not a Toyota. Number 4, the Honda Ridgeline. I can already hear the comments. Not a real truck. And if you need to tow 12,000 pounds, fair enough. But when we're talking about trucks that never break down, the data doesn't care about your feelings. The Ridgeline is the only pickup, midsize or full-size, with Consumer Reports recommended checkmark for 2025. KBB data shows 93% of owners recommend it. Honda ranks first out of 32 brands on RepairPal at 4.0 out of 5.0. Annual repair cost is $502. Here's the part I think is the most underrated. The bed is composite. It cannot rust. In the Salt Belt states where truck beds corrode constantly, the Ridgeline just doesn't have that problem. It also has a lockable in-bed trunk and a flat floor that fits 4x8 plywood sheets. iSeeCars gives it a 14.7% chance of reaching 250,000 miles, which is above the truck average and far ahead of the F-150 and Ram. Avoid the 2006 first gen and 2017. Buy the 2018 to 2020 or 2023 onward. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover data-backed truck analysis every week on Truck Verdict. Now, the next truck is one I've wanted to cover for months. Most slept-on pickup on the market. Number 3, the Nissan Frontier. Nobody talks about this truck. That's exactly why it's a good deal. RepairPal ranks it first among mid-sized trucks with the lowest annual repair cost of any truck in this entire study, $470 a year, lower than the Tacoma, lower than the Ridgeline, lower than anything. Consumer Reports rated the 2024 Frontier as much more reliable than other cars from the same model year. That's the strongest possible language CR uses. The current generation runs a 3.8-liter, naturally aspirated V6 with 310 horsepower paired to a 9-speed automatic. No turbo, no hybrid complexity, just an engine that works. The previous generation ran from 2005 to 2021. That's 16 years on the same basic platform with minimal changes. And while that's usually a criticism, in terms of reliability, it means Nissan had 16 years to work out every single bug. By the end of that run, those trucks were basically sorted. iSeeCars shows a 23.8% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. Resale hits 69% after 5 years, third best behind only the 2 Toyotas. One critical warning on used models. The 2005 through 2010 Frontier has a failure so infamous it has its own name. The strawberry milkshake of death. The radiator cracks internally and leaks coolant into the transmission fluid, destroying it from the inside. After 2013, both that and the plastic timing chain guide issues were resolved. By 2023 to 2025 new, or 2013 to 2015 used. Top 2 now, a completely different league. The next truck has a 30% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. I told you we'd get there. Number 2, the Toyota Tundra. No full-size truck comes close. iSeeCars found the Tundra has a 30% chance of hitting 250,000 miles. The F-150 sits at 5.9, the Ram at 3.5, That's not a slight edge. That's a different category of vehicle. The second-gen 5.7-liter iForce V8, built between 2007 and 2021, is the engine behind the legend. On the Tundra forums, 300,000 plus miles on original drivetrains are common, not exceptional, common. Typical failure items are brakes, wheel bearings, and shocks, not the engine. CarEdge estimates 5-year ownership at $51,000 for the Tundra versus $62,000 for the Silverado and $72,000 for the Ram. That's $21,000 less than a Ram over 5 years. You could buy a decent used car with the savings. Toyota did recall over 200,000 third-gen Tundras for crankshaft-bearing contamination in the 2022 to 2024 gasoline V6, but the hybrid is unaffected, and the manufacturing fix was completed by late 2024. Buy a 2013 to 2019 with the 5.7 V8. Avoid 2007 to 2008 and 2012. So we've got the full-size King at 2. Number 1 somehow has to be even more unkillable. And it is. By a mile. Number 1, the Toyota Tacoma. If you asked every truck mechanic in America which vehicle they'd buy with their own money to drive for 20 years, I'd bet real money the majority say Tacoma. iSeeCars rates it 8.5 out of 10 for reliability with a 25.3% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. J.D. Power gave it the 2025 VDS win for midsize pickups. Annual maintenance is $478 per RepairPal. 10-year cost from CarEdge is $6,996. The Ram over the same period, over $17,000. That's a $10,000 difference just in maintenance, and it doesn't even account for the fact that the Tacoma holds its value better than literally any other vehicle in America. The resale numbers are honestly absurd. Just 26% depreciation after 5 years, meaning a $32,000 Tacoma is still worth roughly $25,750. KBB ranked the Tacoma first overall for resale across every vehicle category. You could drive one for 3 years and lose less money than some sedans lose driving off the lot. And then there's Mike Neal, who drove a 2008 Tacoma with the 2.7-liter 4-cylinder to 1.6 million miles on the original transmission. 1.6 million. The third-gen 3.5 V6 routinely hits 250,000 to 300,000. One caveat for used buyers: don't touch a 2005 to 2010 in a salt belt state without a frame inspection. Toyota paid $3.4 billion in a class action over frame rust affecting 1.5 million trucks. Buy the 2018 to 2023 third gen for proven reliability, or the 2025 plus fourth gen new. The Tacoma wins on every metric that matters for long-term ownership: reliability, maintenance, resale, longevity. There isn't a close second. So now you know the 7 trucks, the specific engines to buy, the model years to target, and the ones to avoid at all costs. The single biggest takeaway from all this research is that cylinder deactivation systems, whether GM calls it active fuel management or Ram calls it MDS, are the #1 reliability killer in modern trucks. If you're buying for longevity, choose engines that don't use them, or buy Toyota and Honda trucks that never adopted them in the first place. Subscribe if you've made it all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.